is the footwear designed by gravity-defying medical technology with the worldwide patented VersoShock sole, clinically proven to relieve pain by a double-blind clinical study conducted by Olive View UCLA Medical Center. You can try a pair free for 30 days.
Yeah, man, DOC got a new thing now. They blocking communications, trying to stop people from having outside contact. I found out today that they doing that to multiple people. That's a thing now. Only thing we trying to do is let them know that they remember, brighten up their day. Only thing the DOC trying to do is, make life harder for them. But for real, be a lot of these big organizations that's taking over. They taking over the mail. They taking over the photos. At one time you used to be able to go and just send a money order. Now you got to go through JPay, and you got to pay them to do it. You got to get a debit card to do it. Like, only thing they really doing is coming up with all these different ways to try to take money, try to take more money from poor and disadvantaged people in America. You know what I mean? Everything got all these different prices. Hey, last week I went to Target and spent like $300 and something. And I said to myself, if somebody if you went to Target in prison and bought all of this same stuff, if you bought all this same stuff in prison that I bought at Target, you would have spent at least $2,500. Like, that's how bad they raping the men and women in prison with the prices of the food and all that little different stuff. The TVs, the TVs you paying, $250 to $300 for a 19-inch TV that go out on you in a couple months. You know what I'm saying? Like, them is the type of games they playing. So, when people like us come out here and try to develop a bridge for, people to air their views or, get their information out there, what the DOC do? They block us. Try to stop us from communicating. They can't stop us, but they try. That's the play. But in all actuality, only thing they doing is they violating the First Amendment, because people in prison, a lot of people think when you go to prison you lose all your rights. You know what I mean? And that's not true at all. One of the most fundamental rights in America is that under the U.S. Constitution and the Pennsylvania Constitution is the right to free speech, which includes your mail. So, in prison, they still got a right to send and receive mail unobstructed. Even though, certain limitations, the court allows certain limitations, to make sure people ain't smuggling stuff in and things of that nature. But, in general, you're supposed to be able to receive and send mail to and from whoever you want, even if they don't like them people. Know what I mean? If Donald Trump want to write somebody in prison, they got to give him that mail, whether they like him or not. But a lot of them like it. But so the way I'm taking it for real is that we being retaliated against for speaking on the issues that are relevant to prisoners and prisoners' rights. Because that's all I talk about. People reach out to me, asking me to, get information out there about their situation, about their lawsuits, about, whatever the case may be, about their case, and I try to help them out. So because I have views that they dislike, they want to block me. because I ain't happy-go-lucky friendly with them. But I bet you if I was writing some stuff that they thought was beneficial to them, they wouldn't have blocked me. They can play the game all they want. They know what's next. They know what's next with me. They know what's next with me. You know, it's all about building a record up and finding out, you know, how bad of an issue this is and how many other people it's happening to. But you know, you got a lot of people that do their best to try to do things for people in prison. And the only thing the DOC trying to do, and you know the DOC is ran by John E. Wessel. He hate my guts too. He you know, he real good with money. They hired him because he's a money man. He come in there and try to find ways for the DOC to make more money off of prisoners and their families. That's what they doing, man. It's all a money thing, man. It's just prison ain't nothing but an extension of slavery. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the plantations, they got the prisons now. So, you know, me in my position, it was just like in the chattel slavery days when, for whatever reason, you won your freedom or you made it off the plantation, your obligation was to reach back to those that were left there. You know what I'm saying? Either help them escape, you know what I mean, provide them tools or inspiration or, you know, whatever your agenda was, to help them get out of that situation. So, you know, that's the way I see it. I never leave my people for dead. So I reach back and try to assist them. And with the DOC doing, they cracking that whip. They still trying to crack that whip long distance. You know what I mean? Anytime you do something that they don't like, they try to crack that whip. Same thing they be doing to people in prison. But you know, you gotta watch these, you know who you gotta really watch for real? Is these companies. You gotta watch these companies. What's that company called? Connect Network. What's the other one? The one with the phone. What's the name of that company? That phone company that be stealing all that money. You got Connect Network. You got Aramark. You got Keefe. These is billion-dollar companies. Multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar companies. On the backs of poor and disadvantaged people in America. All they doing is running it up off the backs of poor and disadvantaged people in America. And got the nerve to try to block somebody. That's why you gotta be careful. Like a lot of them same companies that be price gouging and all of that against our family members and stuff in prison. Another thing is that you gotta watch their politics. You gotta watch their politics and see the type of stuff that they support, because we sending our family money, and what these companies is doing is taking that money and investing into politicians and lobbyists that create laws that disadvantage us even more. So we funding it. When you think about it, we funding it. You know what I mean? If I'm giving my money to anybody, I want to give it to somebody that come from what I come from. I mean, obviously, it's gonna be prisons. It's gonna be prisons. Yeah, we're gonna have to pull back up about this, because you know what I'm really thinking about.
We should have some examples like that. What was that? The fruit juice that cost $7 in the prison. You paid it $50.
Oh yeah, them little candies. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we gonna have to put something together on these clowns. Cause definitely had to turn it up on them. Alright, I'm out. We gonna have to pull back up. Take care of something.